Hey, Commanders fans, get ready, because today we have exclusive news about our team, and you can't miss a single detail. So go ahead and subscribe to the channel, activate the bell to receive everything firsthand, and of course, leave a like to strengthen our fan base and show that we only have true fans here. Our commitment is to always bring you the latest updates, news, and everything that happens behind the scenes of Commanders. So without further ado, let's check out today's news. With the termination of Deebo Samuel's contract, he will represent $12 million in salary cap space for the Commanders and will become a free agent. When the Washington Commanders signed wide receiver Deebo Samuel last season, the very nature of the agreement made it clear that the player's stay could be temporary. From the outset, there was an expectation that the athlete would return to the market in March 2026, a scenario that is now about to materialize and raises several questions about the next steps for both the player and the franchise. The contract termination was recently formalized and has had direct consequences for the team's financial situation. The move generates an impact of approximately $12.3 million on the salary cap for the 2026 season, a significant amount within the management's planning for assembling the roster. On the other hand, the decision also prematurely ends the tenure of a player who arrived surrounded by expectations and with the mission of raising the level of the offense. Starting March 11th, the receiver will be free to negotiate with any franchise, officially entering the market as an unrestricted free agent. At 30 years old, the athlete's career moment generates mixed reviews within the league. At his peak, he was considered one of the most dynamic and versatile offensive weapons in professional American football, capable of impacting games both receiving passes and contributing to running plays. This level of performance led him to important recognitions, including being among the best players of the season in official votes. However, his recent performance has fallen short of expectations. Another point that helps contextualize the current situation is how his departure from the San Francisco 49ers occurred. When the Californian franchise decided to trade him to Washington, they received in return only a fifth-round draft pick, compensation considered modest for an athlete who, a few years earlier, was among the most dangerous at his position. Now, once again available on the NFL market, the veteran enters a decisive moment in his career. The team's interest, the type of contract offered, and the role he can play in a new offensive system will be determining factors in defining whether there is still room for a high-level comeback or if he will assume more specific functions within a squad. The Washington Commanders urgently need defensive reinforcements in the first round of the 2026 NFL Draft, something they can get at almost every position except edge rusher. While cornerbacks, safeties, and outside linebackers have proven they can be top-tier starters from the moment they step onto the field, it's far rarer to find an edge rusher who immediately dominates. Of the NFL's top 5 sack leaders in 2025, none reached double digits in sacks as rookies. This logic means Commanders coach Dan Quinn might want to avoid selecting an edge rusher with the 7th overall pick in the 2026 NFL Draft. If that logic doesn't hold true, Bleacher Report's Brent Sobleski highlighted the Commanders as the perfect landing place for 6'3", 220-pound linebacker Arvell Reese. Once upon a time, Dan Quinn launched Micah Parsons into the NFL, and the hybrid defender wreaked havoc. Ballantyne wrote, Quinn became the head coach of the Washington Commanders thanks to his stint as defensive coordinator for the Dallas Cowboys, but he didn't have anyone in Washington who could be used in a similar way to Parsons. To be fair, Ohio State's Arvell Reese isn't a prospect of the same caliber as Parsons. There's still a correlation because both Big Ten graduates have skills that can be used across the defensive line, whether as outside linebackers or pass rushers. Rare praise for Reese as an NFL prospect. Reese and Texas Tech's David Bailey have alternated in the lead as the top prospect for the edge rusher position in the 2026 NFL Draft, though Bailey can't play multiple positions like Reese. If the Commanders are truly determined to sign a pressure player on the defensive line, it may be that neither of them will be available when draft time comes. Quote, Reese is quick on the chase, and his ability to finish tackles could become elite, wrote Lance Zierlein, NFL draft analyst. His drive is dynamic and difficult for tackles to imitate. It's still developing, but Reese has already demonstrated signature moves and drive plans that need further refinement.
The Commanders definitely don't need linebackers outside the line of scrimmage. Veteran Bobby Wagner may be interested in staying with the Commanders for a third season, attempting to break the NFL tackle record, which would make the outside linebacker position the only one on the defense they are truly well-positioned for 2026.
A potential move involving a key player on the New York Jets offensive line is gaining momentum behind the scenes in the NFL and could directly impact the Washington Commanders' plans for the upcoming season. A player valued at approximately $15 million has emerged as a real candidate to change teams during free agency, raising debates about the future of both franchises. New York is entering a crucial offseason. The team needs not only to improve to return to high-level competition, but also to avoid significant setbacks in its roster. Several important players are heading to free agency, including Breece Hall, Quincy Williams, and especially Alijah Vera-Tucker, a fundamental piece of the offensive line. Given salary limitations, it's unlikely the Jets will be able to retain all these players. The priority will be choosing which talents are truly part of the long-term project, and this decision could open up opportunities for other franchises to act quickly. According to analyst Mason Cameron of Pro Football Focus, the most likely destination for Vera-Tucker would be Washington. The evaluation considers both the Commanders' urgent need for reinforcements in quarterback protection and the player's technical fit within the team's offensive scheme. Recent injuries raise concerns. Vera-Tucker missed the entire 2025 season after a triceps tear, interrupting a period of high-level performance. However, when healthy in 2024, he demonstrated why he is considered one of the most talented interior offensive linemen in the league. That year, he recorded a 77.7 overall PFF rating, a career high and the 9th highest among players at his position in the NFL. The advanced numbers reinforce this impact. The player delivered elite performance in both pass protection and run blocking, ranking above the 90th percentile in key PFF metrics. This type of production is exactly what Washington needs after finishing last season among the worst in the league in blocking efficiency, ranking only 22nd in pass protection and 28th in run blocking. For the Commanders, the potential signing would make strategic sense. The franchise has salary cap space and prioritizes accelerating the development of young quarterback Jayden Daniels. Improving the offensive line would not only increase the security of the passing game, but also provide more consistency to the running game, a clear weakness in the last season. There are still uncertainties about Vera-Tucker's final market value after a full season away. Even so, his potential, when healthy, continues to attract interest around the NFL. If Washington moves forward with negotiations, the lineman's arrival could represent an important step in the team's offensive rebuilding and signal an aggressive stance towards immediate competitiveness.